So I am shocked because this person had the audacity right here to come to our table and tell us that we are the rudest people that she has ever met. Look at her. She told us we are getting off work, we paying for our food just like everybody else, and she told us that we are the rudest people ever. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. What you gotta understand is that you don't know what people going through. Oh, you want to come over here? You want to come? She ain't gonna come over here. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. Don't got some real stuff.
That are black, and I love them.
We never said anything about color. We never said anything. So here's the thing. Let me understand.
You're too loud.
We're too loud.
In your opinion, let me show you my money. It's just as green as yours.
Right? Oh, you're so stupid, nigga.
Stupid.
Oh!
No.
So call your black friends a nigga. Call your black friends.
So she basically just
called us a nigga.
Friends that you don't call y'all a nigga.
They're not like you.
All right, many of you may have come across this particular video already. I actually saw it earlier today, and it has been making its rounds ever since I first learned about it. So this event, which you just saw in this video, happened in, I believe, Raleigh, North Carolina. It says something about North Hills. Let me know if down in the comments if I have it correct, but I think it was in Raleigh, North Carolina, at a Bonefish grill, where you had this woman right here who looks the epitome of every clown that you could ever think of, and her name is Nancy Goodman. And trust me when I tell you, there's nothing good about her whatsoever. And when I first saw her image, I said she looks just like like Ursula from The Little Mermaid. As a matter of fact, I think she would have been perfect for the role. But anyway, you had these women, as you can see in the video, these black women who were at the Bonefish Grill, just having a get together, probably after a long day of work, engaging in, discussion, maybe about their work day, or just having a good time. And this woman who could not mind her business had to bring her fat, sloppy self right over there to where they were at. And basically, actually, she complained. She complained saying that these women were rude. You heard the commentary saying it was rude, that they were too loud and everything like that. And usually in restaurants, I think I've only been in the Bonefish Grill one time. And in some restaurants, if there's a lot of people or there's music, sometimes you're going to have to talk a little bit loud so people can actually hear you, not because you're just being loud just to be loud. This woman went over to management and complained about them and everything like that. And then they started recording her because they felt uncomfortable by her. And then that's when she decided to act the fool right there in the clip, which is what you saw right here in the thumbnail. Now, what I find so interesting, too, is, and I find that a lot of palm-colored individuals do this, and I find a lot of palm-colored females do this, and usually of a certain age. They love whenever they are getting ready to call somebody or call the cops on a black person, they always do it with this smile on their face. Like, you know how when as kids, you had that one kid that was always snitching on somebody, that nana nana boo boo type of thing, like I'm gonna tell on you. That's what a lot of them do. Like, they get a joy, an immense and intense joy out of trying to put us on blast or try to call the cops on us. And I noticed that every single time. Like, she had this smile on her face, like almost like a Joker grin, like she was just proud to do this. So it goes into it even further, and she starts to antagonize them even more. And then you can tell at this point that nothing more it wasn't a laughing matter anymore to her when that one black woman said, "I have money too, is green and spins just like yours." That smile or that grin or whatever she had turned upside down, and that's when she called her the N-word. Right then and there. And then, of course, she did the typical thing talking about she has black friends. I said that's the typical norm thing that goes right along with it. I have a black friend, or I have a black spouse, or my grandchildren are quote unquote mixed, and all this, that, and the third. They try to do that to try to cover up for their racism. And the black woman said, "Well, do you call your black friends the N-word?" And she said it loud enough for everybody in there to hear it. And I don't even think that the establishment in which this happened in even kicked her out for that. Now, her story is, and I kid you not, that the reason why she called these women the N-word, or that one in particular that she was talking to, is because her anxiety made her do it. That has got to be one of the top 5 worst excuses I've ever heard for somebody referring to somebody else as the N-word. I mean, that goes right up there with Roseanne saying that Ambien made her be racist. Now, my thing is this. If you have so-called anxiety, that usually makes you nervous and to be around a certain subject matter or anybody. If these women made her have anxiety like she claims they did, why did she engage them? Why did she pull out her phone and then walk up into them and begin to antagonize even more? That doesn't sound like somebody who has anxiety to me at whatsoever. But then I was sent another article. Now, I didn't read it because all I needed to see was the title. It said that she did not have any remorse, or she didn't care about what she did and she would do it again. Does that sound like somebody who has anxiety? To me, that does not sound like somebody who has alleged anxiety. This is just someone who is a staunch racist. Now, thanks to Tariq Nasheed, as we call him, the king of receipts, he managed to find out where this woman is from and where this woman worked. Now, I don't know if her job has done anything to her as far as disciplinary action, but they probably have if they haven't done so already, because the video has since then gone viral and it's been out there for now about 2 days. But we didn't really find out about it until the next day after it went out. So the world pretty much knows about her. And if her job is any good, decent job, they will do away with her. Don't even let her walk away from it. Just straight up fire her. Let her collect her last little pennies and move on. Like I said, this woman is a trip and a half to do all of that and claim that it was anxiety that did it. That's a slap in the face to the people who actually suffer from actual anxiety. And I don't know anybody who has anxiety that causes them to be a racist any more than Roseanne saying Ambien made her say the N-word. Like, they cannot even own up to their racism. It always is something else that caused it. And it's the weirdest thing, but that is, at the end of the day, their nature. And then you have to really look into that Bonefish Grill and their management, because they didn't do anything to this woman. They let this woman come up there and call those women the N-word, and loudly too, like everybody could hear it. And they didn't even kick her out. All because she said they were being too loud, and she said that was a form of being rude. Well, why were you all in their conversation? She made it seem like they were the only people in the restaurant. It was a lot of people there, but for some reason she heard them. No, it's because she was being nosy. That's all it is. Have you ever noticed that when a lot of black people congregate with each other, even if it's just to have casual conversation, Palm Color seems threatened by it. It's almost like they think we're plotting on them. Trust and believe, Palm Colored, you are not that flattering for us to really even give that much of a shred of a damn about you and whatever it is you got going on. I remember my dad was telling me a story about when he and some of his coworkers, it was all black men talking together in a group. And I think they were on their break, and all of a sudden this white guy came up and was like, "Hi guys, what you talking about?" And then that's when the conversation was pretty much dead on arrival, and they just kind of dispersed. Have you noticed that? Like, have you ever been in that kind of situation? Because I have. I remember that happened to me at one time when I was at work, and we had some downtime, and me and my other coworkers, who were all black men, just started playing spades because we were trying to pass the time. And then one of the white guys came over, who worked in a whole nother, I guess you could say, area, came over and started to look at our hands and try to tell my partner what card to throw down. I'm like, where did you come from? And like, why are you here? And then we kind of looked, when he finally left, we kind of looked at each other and was like, just typical white people shit. Because they knew, because we were all on the same wavelength. Like, he just inserted himself into our spades game and almost threw us off. Like, mind your business. But yeah, I hope that they deal with this woman accordingly, because like, she thought it was a joke up until that woman started talking about my money is green and spins just like yours. And that's when she got upset. Notice she got upset when the woman threw out her money. So that also lets me know that she was threatened that this woman even had money. That's another thing they hate, is when we have money, because they feel that we are beneath them and that we should be just living in squalor and that we don't deserve this, that, and the third, and all types of other things. It's like I said, if racism was a mental illness, then I would actually believe that. But that mental illness crap that many of them like to throw around, especially when it comes to mass shootings and all types of other stuff, that's not no mental illness. That's just being wicked. That's just being straight up evil. But if they was to classify racism for them as a mental illness, I would actually probably believe it, because the stuff that they're being racist about is very weird. It's very silly in nature. When you really package all of it together, of why a lot of them hate on a certain group of people, especially when that group of people has not done anything to warrant such hatred, except for the fact that we just exist. And that alone allows me to question their sanity. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I will talk to you in the next one.